Hello, good parents, and welcome to another episode of Parenting Tips and Tricks. Today, I'm going to give you some examples of ineffective discipline. These are things many people may do while disciplining their children, but they are either ineffective, long-term just bad for your kid, or even counterproductive. Let's begin by explaining why kids misbehave in the first place. Basically, it can all be summed up into one thing: to fulfill their needs. These needs might be your attention when they feel like they aren't getting enough of it, power or control over something. They might be too energetic and they need physical activity, so their behavior might come across as unruly. They want more independence. They're testing your limits to see if you stick to your principles, or they're simply hungry, thirsty, or sleepy, so they're more sensitive, they cry easily, or throw tantrums. So now that you understand the reasons behind your child's actions, at least vaguely, we can begin to analyze some common discipline techniques that can't even be called that because they don't work. First one is yelling. Yelling is not effective because the main thing it does is it causes discomfort and fear. It will make your child face their behavior in that very moment, but it won't work for the long run because as soon as you aren't there to yell at your child, they will feel like making mistakes is okay. Not being yelled at becomes the only motivation your child has to make good decisions, and that's not the type of motivation you should want your child to have. Number 2 is blaming. Using words like you always or you never mainly makes your child feel incompetent and incapable. It lowers their sense of self-worth. This doesn't work because it kills the child's motivation to even try making good choices. Good choices are always harder to make and do, so if they feel incapable and inadequate to begin with, behaving well, following the rules will not even be something they attempt. They feel like they will fail you anyways, so why try? If you judge a child's behavior, judge the behavior, not the child. Make sure to let them know it's the behavior that disappointed you or their choices, not them. Blaming is, in my opinion, the worst thing that a parent could do on a daily basis, because if it really occurs on a daily basis, you can't blame the child, rather blame yourself. Number 3 is comparing. I know it says foreign next to the word, I'll fix it in a bit. Comparing a child to other kids is definitely ineffective because it does not motivate them to learn, grow, or control themselves better. Not one bit. The only thing they hear is you wanting, loving, or liking another child more than you like, love, or want them. A very common conclusion they make out of being compared to other peers, friends, or siblings is, I have to be someone else to be good and be loved, which I bet is not true. Different children need different approaches and strategies. Every child has a set of strengths that you have to recognize and value in order for them to one day live to their full potential. Number 4 is assuming. Even though you know your child better than anyone, you still can't quite know what's in their head. And very often parents just assume that children know what they're allowed and not allowed to do. They can't really know the rules unless you've told them. Some things require day-to-day repetition until they're almost like set in stone. Children also don't know what you expect of them unless you precisely and clearly tell them. This not knowing can often be misjudged as naughty behavior, while in reality your child is just lost and trying to entertain themselves. And last but not least, is trying to correct the behavior or make your child start making good choices and decisions, but without ever giving them consequences. In a world where their actions have zero consequences apart from occasionally getting yelled at or blamed, your child just gets a feeling that life is just whatever and there's no point in anything. And that's it for today. I hope you understood why your child misbehaves, and I hope you understood why these 5 strategies are definitely ineffective and counterproductive, and that you will try your best to avoid them at all costs. Like this video, share it, and subscribe, and see you next time. Goodbye.